Today on Behind the Bloom, we're talking Halloween, and it's flower specific, of course. Halloween is filled with traditions, rituals, and of course, decorating. You may have already caught our Halloween episode of Life in Bloom we aptly named Life in Gloom. Get it? Today, RJ and I will get into our own traditions, and I'll share my famous bouquets and decor for Halloween. So before I make you worry with my horrific puns, let's get spooky and talk about fun ways to celebrate Halloween with flowers. Did you know Halloween is the second most decorated holiday in the USA? It's a perfect time to create and share flowers. Whether you're filling a pumpkin with chrysanthemums or spinning faux webs over a Halloween bouquet, you'll find lots of inspiration at your local flower seller. So pay them a visit and create some Halloween treats with flowers. Our friends at Cow Flowers are proud sponsors of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom and Behind the Bloom podcast, where flowers and wellness go hand in hand.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hey, Jay, how's it going?
I'm great. How about you?
I'm great. I'm really excited to talk Halloween with you.
I know, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
coming up. It's everyone's favorite holiday, it seems like.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know? I don't
yeah.
know. Are you a big Halloween person?
I am, yeah. It's funny. I have always been a huge, growing up would obviously go trick-or-treating, dress up, had so many different, get excited every year, and have gotten really into haunted houses also. And so I actually growing up would go to haunted houses. I had an aunt that would take me to haunted houses, and probably when I was too young to go, and it probably traumatized me, but I still love them. And it's funny. It's one of the things Amanda and I have totally bonded on because she loves them too. And
oh my goodness.
Scary movies also. So it's always this time of year. We totally will rent some scary movies and find a haunted house nearby and go to it. So yeah, we're definitely big into Halloween.
I don't watch scary movies. I don't like them. I don't go to haunted house. I mean, there was a story. One of our godchildren, we went to a haunted house once, and it was just a surprise. We went to visit our friends, and they took their kids and our little godson, we called him Frenchie, and that was his nickname. And we walked in, and all of a sudden, the first thing, this guy comes out of this door with a chainsaw. And Frenchie was little, and he just turned around and he put his hands up towards me, and I just picked him up, and he buried his head in my shoulder, and we just walked through the rest of the way. And that was our bonding moment then forever. It's just okay, no more haunted houses and stuff. But
yeah.
I think it is. So, okay, weird things about, what do you give out for trick-or-treats? I want to know what you give out for trick-or-treats as well.
So right now we're in an apartment, so we don't get very many trick-or-treaters, but we do get to look out the window and see all the houses around us. So we get to watch everybody go by, but don't have to go buy the candy.
Don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
But growing up, we always had a bowl out, and it was just kind of those variety of candies that you would buy at the store. There was some of the mini Snickers bars, Smarties, things like that. So yeah. What do you give out, Jay?
We've given out comic books before.
Oh, cool.
And then, because we also put the teal pumpkin on our porch.
Oh, yeah.
Which the teal pumpkin means that you have alternate treats that are not sugar filled or that you're not going to do anything scary or weird for kids that are autistic.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And so that teal pumpkin means that you would do that. And so then the other thing that we've gotten, there's a place in Grand Rapids called Cheese Curls.
Oh, okay.
And they make little bags of cheese curls, and they're like a fried Cheeto. That's what they are, okay? And so then we give those out.
Oh, cool.
But I was traumatized as a kid because my mother one time gave out baked potatoes.
Oh, fully cooked baked potatoes that you could just take and eat?
Fully cooked baked potatoes in a foil wrapper.
Oh, that's cool.
I have no idea why she did that. And then one time my grandpa gave out kittens.
Oh, wow. How many kittens did he have?
Well, we had cats. You have cats in a greenhouse when you have a big commercial greenhouse, because mice and rats will eat the seeds or eat the small little foundling flowers, the little seedlings that are coming up and the sprouts and stuff. And so you always have cats, and we had lots of cats. And so one year we had 3 or 4 cats that had litters.
Wow.
And so my grandpa's we have to get rid of these cats. So he was giving them away for Halloween, and the kids would take them out to the street, and then they'd bring them back and say, "My mom says I can't keep this."
I was going to say, I can't imagine if I came home unsupervised.
By the end of the night, he had given them all away.
Oh, that's great.
So I was like, "Oh, so that was cute," you know? So, I mean, it's just kinda like Halloween has so many crazy memories for me. I also had
Yeah.
this crazy aunt, my Aunt Alice, who I just adored. And one time at Halloween, it was all over. It was like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and all of a sudden the doorbell rang. And I opened the door, and there was this person that had like a pantyhose over their face and like
Oh.
dressed up like a bum, you know?
Yeah.
And they were like, "Trick or treat." And I was like, "Oh, here." And they said, "Don't you have a beer?" And I was like, "Oh my God, who is this person? I have to." And then it was my Aunt
Oh.
Alice. And then she laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. And so, I mean, and that was kind of traumatic for me too. So,
Yeah.
I mean, when we're out of candy, I always joke about like we turn off all the lights and lay on the floor. So it looks
Oh,
like we're not
yeah.
home, but yeah, but we try not to run out because I also feel like trick or treating is like an investment in the future of your neighborhood.
Yeah. I get that.
And that you want, those kids to have a really great experience and have it be fun. And I love to see their costumes and
Yeah.
stuff because I think that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And there are the little kids that grow up in the neighborhood and then they become adults and they're gone. But then there's always new ones too. So I think that that's fun too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you dress up when you were younger? Or do you dress up now?
I don't dress. No, I don't
No.
dress up at all, and
Okay.
I don't necessarily do Halloween. But as a kid, I just remember you remember like the satiny things with the plastic face.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So like it would be like a Frankenstein. It would be like yellow and purple, and then you'd have the Frankenstein face thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I remember I have fond memories of those things.
Oh,
And when
yeah.
I see them at an antique show, I'm always just like, "Oh, this is cool." But I would, I would never buy. No, I don't ever dress up. One of the best Halloweens we ever had was going to Chicago and
Oh,
saw the
cool.
best costumes.
Oh, yeah.
The best costumes just walking down the street.
Yeah,
And we
people
just
go all
sat.
out.
Yeah, we sat at like I think it was a bar that was like open air, and we just watched everybody walk up and we were just like, this is so great.
Oh.
It was really fun. So yeah,
That's so fun.
yeah. I'm just always curious. Do you carve pumpkins then too?
There's a place, a town near us called Highwood, and they do this big pumpkin festival, and they have these big, like, wooden shelves that they put up, like, all around, like, the downtown, and so you can walk up, and it starts, like, a few weeks before Halloween, and it's, like, every night you can go and just get a pumpkin and carve it, and by, like, the end of the 2-week period, it's like the whole town is just covered in jack-o'-lanterns. It's really cool.
So you can buy them done.
Yeah, or so you buy one
Oh,
that's already cut out, and then you carve it yourself. Yeah, so
so
it's
the
pretty cool.
mess is all taken away.
Exactly, yeah.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
best
yeah,
part.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the mess I have a hard time with. I'm a little OCD with I remember, like, being a kid growing up and carving pumpkins with my family and reaching into the goop and pulling everything out and being like, "Oh, this is" I don't like having this
Yeah.
mess all over my hands.
Yeah. Kelly's an excellent pumpkin carver.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But at the same time, the mess. And
Oh, yeah.
I like the pumpkin stacks. That's my
Yeah.
favorite. I like it when you can stack the heirloom pumpkins. I like that. I think
Oh,
that's fun too.
yeah. Does Kelly pick, like, a theme that he likes to carve or
So it's interesting on our Halloween special, I think, let's see. Oh, no, on our autumn special in season
we can put a
5.
link in
Yeah,
the show
we'll put a
notes?
link in there.
Yeah.
But he carved the U Bloom flower into a white pumpkin and then used dyes to color it.
That's so cool.
And it was so pretty. And so
Oh.
I'm more fascinated when people do that like sculpting of them
Oh, yeah,
as
yeah,
opposed to,
yeah.
if
Where it's not carved all the way through, you kinda see the layers
yeah,
almost?
yeah. And if I was gonna carve something, I would carve the
Oh,
traditional pumpkin, the triangle, 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 and
yeah.
jagged mouth. I would just do that because I
Okay.
like it to be very classic. So
Yeah.
there's that. Yeah.
Nice. Well, you had sent over kind of the list of things to talk about and asked about any favorite Halloween memories, and so I was going back through my head trying to think of things, and I have one that's like a more recent one, and then like a way back one. And
Perfect.
so, if you don't mind, I wanted to share just
Absolutely. I'm dying.
okay. So starting with the more recent one. So this is like kind of right after COVID was kind of ending and all the mask regulations were going away. Amanda and I went up to Door County, Wisconsin, and we did a haunted trolley ride. And this was like right around Halloween. And so it was really one of the first things we did where you didn't have to wear a mask and could be around people. And so we were on this like open air trolley that drove through Door County and went to all these different like haunted places. And so it was so much fun because we were back with people again. People were laughing, having fun. Everyone was a little spooked too. But we get on the trolley and we had just checked into our hotel, and the trolley was a couple miles south of our hotel. And so we get on and they're driving to our first stop, and this is one of the most haunted places in all of Door County, and it's just another mile up the road, and we're like doing the math, and we're like, our hotel is just another mile up the road, and we were like, if this is the most haunted place, we're checking out. And so they pull up, and it's this building right next to our hotel, and they're telling the story of all these like scary things that happened there back in the early whenever, and there's like this ghost that has been like terrorizing every family that lives there, and we were looking at each other and we were like, all right, that's not in our hotel, it's just next to it, we're safe. But it was so that was the first stop. Yeah, so we felt good after that. But the tour was just so cool because it went around to all these different places, and it was maybe 2 hours, and they had a little story about all these different places. But at one point it was like pitch black, and the trolley's winding through this like really wooded area, and they were playing like Halloween songs, like the Monster Mash and everything.
Oh, sure,
and everyone's kind of singing along. And I remember they played like the Addams Family theme song, and everybody on the trolley's like doing the like,
oh, the click, click, and the clap, clap.
yeah. And we were having so much fun, but it was literally like the driver was driving like a madman through these like winding woods with like trees next to us. And I remember just saying to Amanda, I was like, if you were to like blindfold me and drop me into this place and you woke up and just saw like everybody snapping and this like crazy driver, I would have been like, this is the strangest dream I've ever had.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But we were like, this feels like we're back to normal society. Everyone is just like having a good time, and it was just like a awesome way to spend Halloween.
Oh,
So
that's fun. And after all that too, I think we all really let loose after all that.
right,
It was a
yeah.
lot.
So I don't know. That was one of the one of
Oh,
the
that's
stories that
awesome.
came to
That's
mind.
awesome.
Yeah, and then I have a way back story too.
Okay. All
And
right.
this is kind of a walks on the line of a little bizarre. But so when I was
Yay.
this was when I was maybe 10, I'd say. As I mentioned, I would go to haunted houses, and I had an aunt that loved to take me to haunted houses and my brothers to haunted houses. And I think probably when we were younger than we should have been going, but she loved to, she didn't have kids, and she loved to take us and scare us. And
Okay.
I don't know, we had fun. And my mom would come too, but it was my aunt that was kind of driving this whole thing. And so we went to this haunted house, and then this was in the Chicago suburbs. And then afterwards, they had a separate area, and they called it the freak show that you could pay extra and go see. And I can't believe, like, looking back on this, like I told Amanda and she was like, this can't be real. And I'm like, no, this was in like the 90s. But so you go in and they had this sideshow. There was all these different people that came out and did these different things. There was a guy that balanced a lawnmower on his chin and
Oh, wow.
turned it
Okay.
on. Yeah. And so you're
And
standing
turned it on.
and he gave heads of lettuce to people in the crowd, and you'd throw them at the lawnmower and it would chop it up and spray the lettuce all over the crowd. So this is in this tiny, like, I don't know, 25, 30 person room. And so it's like this lawnmower could have like fallen and landed on us if this guy
on
was having
him or anyone, right?
if he was having an off day. It was like, I can't believe there's no waivers or anything. And I'm like this like 10-year-old
my
throwing lettuce.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Goes even a little stranger after this. So there was a
more.
guy.
Okay.
There was a guy, and Jay, if you feel uncomfortable about this next one, we can cut this. But this is a real thing that happened. They called the human jack-o'-lantern, and there was this guy who had a glass eye, and he came out on stage. And they turned off all the lights, and he took his eye out and shined a flashlight in his mouth, and it shined out of his eye socket. And this was the human jack-o'-lantern.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. We were blown away. And I think this was just some local guy who lived in the area, and every Halloween they would do the freak show, and he would do his
And
human
that was
jack-o'-lantern
his
thing.
part that
Yeah.
he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I am of the opinion that you need to make the best of every situation, right?
Yeah.
And so if you're bringing joy to someone, and that is nice, and you can laugh at it yourself,
Yes. Yeah.
and everyone else can too, that's okay. Now,
Okay.
if somebody's, if somebody's doing that to someone, that's not nice. But if
Yes.
you want to share that, my grandpa once, he loved using a table saw. And one time he cut down the middle of his finger off to one side.
Oh.
So he came into the shop and had a handkerchief wrapped around it and there was just blood everywhere, and he said, I need to go to the emergency room and I've cut myself with a saw. And so they did. My grandfather had just like half a finger as his index finger, but half the long way, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so then he would always say, I like to pick my nose, and so I sharpened it one day so I could do a better job. And so people would be like, what's wrong with your finger? And you'd say, oh, I like to pick my nose, and so I sharpened it so that I could do a better job. And people would just be like, okay. But so I think that's, those types of things are okay if that's what you want to do. That's amazing.
Right. Yeah,
that's amazing.
You're right. He was spreading joy. It was something that
right.
He wasn't like being exploited. This is something he wanted to do and have fun with
right.
people for Halloween.
To be the human jack-o'-lantern. I love it.
Yeah.
I like that they turned off all the light sets.
It
was probably even more scary.
Yes, yeah.
So that's true. Wow. How old were you?
I was like 10.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah, this was in the early 90s. So yeah.
You were 10 in the early 90s.
I was, Jay.
Yeah, how nice.
Yeah.
I was 30.
Okay.
In the early 90s, 30-ish in the early 90s. So there's that. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Wow, you're just a child. So the other about joy, when we talk about joy, bringing joy to people.
Yeah.
The lady who raised me, it was like my nanny, but Dorothy, and she's in the front of my books, my 2 books. If you would ever get my 2 books, Fun with Flowers or Bloom 365, the books are dedicated to her and my grandpa. But she ran a nursery school. And she was a professional storyteller, and she would go to libraries and read books and do felt. I don't know. Did you ever have felt boards when you were a kid?
Yeah.
Okay, so she would do felt boards and stuff and tell stories that way, and would have puppets and stuff. And so she was different characters, and she would be Mrs. Santa Claus, or she would be Mrs. Peter Cottontail, and she was Hexie the Witch for Halloween.
Oh.
But Hexie the Witch was glamorous, and she wore like sparkled cloaks and had all this beautiful makeup and stuff, and then this very chic hat. But Hexie the Witch would, tell stories about and would laugh, but her laugh wasn't scary. It wasn't like a scary laugh. So Hexie the Witch, I have really good memories of Hexie the Witch. And there was actually a florist in Lincoln, Nebraska, who would hire her for their Halloween days, and she would go there and be Hexie the Witch for kids and stuff. So I think that it always seems to me that there needs to be a fun essence about it. And I do love that everybody decorates.
Yes.
I mean, everybody decorates like crazy. And that's why we created a Halloween episode for our special episode, our 14th episode in our last season, in season 7.
Yeah.
It's because I think it's fun for people to decorate. I am a dry ice freak.
Cool.
I love dry ice.
That's awesome.
And that all started, we had an opera house in my hometown, Fremont, Nebraska, and it was the Love Larson Opera House. Interestingly enough, the Love family, my mom would always take me trick-or-treating to select places.
Oh, okay.
So it would always be her best customers that I would, and my picture was always in the paper. So it was like Jay says, and then she'd bring Jay to their door to trick or treat from them. Right. And we'd always go to Mrs. Schwazer's house. Mrs. Schwazer was so great because they owned Schwazer's department store, and she would take me she loved me. She would take me to the toy department. Let me pick out anything I wanted to.
Oh,
but Florence Love made little hand-stitched animals, like little plush animals.
Oh,
so they're like dinosaurs and donkeys and elephants and giraffes. And she would have them all lined up on a little board on like a little shelf all around her living room. And so when it was Halloween, then you would get invited inside and she'd let you pick out one.
Oh, how cool.
And so you'd get to pick out one of those. And that was always a really cool Halloween gift. The Love Larson Opera House was trying to get rehabilitated, and it had fallen into disrepair, and there was this Love Larson Foundation and everything. And so they started having, and I was the chairman for the first Halloween fundraiser. I decorated it with all of these huge jack-o'-lanterns, but I'd hollowed them out so I could fill them with dry ice and then pour water. Well, what I didn't know was that I was going to have to service it the whole time. I didn't get to do anything else but refill those things with hot water and pour in more dry ice and hot water and more dry ice so that it would be, that was my first experience. But I love dry ice as an effect for that. And even like when we did the Dia de los Muertos show with my friend Sandy Luna, which is obviously is the day after Halloween, that the drink we did, we put dry ice in.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So that's fun. And then we had the cauldron that we got last year. So last year at Michael's, they had 3 sizes of cauldrons, and I bought them. And I don't know if they'll ever make them again, but they were fabulous. And so I used those, and then put a vase inside a vase, put a vase inside the cauldron so that you'd have a place to put the dry ice and the water, and then you could arrange flowers in it, and then that dry ice would come out.
Oh, that's so cool.
And it doesn't last long, but it sure is fun.
Yeah.
It sure is fun. Yeah. I love that. I would gravitate towards that. I think in our flower shop, we had what we called a kids club for flowers. You got a free membership, and you had your kids club card, and you would register your birthday with us, and we would send you a discount card on your birthday so that you could come, and you always got a discount. There was always a special for the kids club that was $1. Okay, so it was always every month we had a special, and it was $1, and a kid could come in and buy it for $1, and it was worth a lot more than that. And so, but the number one selling item was the special for Halloween.
Oh, okay.
And it was the Ghostbuster carnation.
Oh, wait. So what's the Ghostbuster carnation?
I know, right? So you take an orange carnation and you put a paper dinner napkin. Okay, so a paper dinner napkin, you'd unfold it, and you'd put it over the orange carnation, and then tie it with a little piece of black yarn. Okay, so you can imagine it looks like a little ghost kind of, and then you'd use a black Sharpie, or back then it was a Marks-a-Lot magic marker, and you would, because Sharpies weren't around yet, and you'd put 2 eyes on it, right? And so then the kids would get that, and they would say, "Why is this a Ghostbuster carnation?" And you'd reach over and bust open the napkin, and you could see the orange carnation inside.
Oh, cool.
And then we'd put another one on them, and then we'd send them on their way. And people would come in and they'd say, "My son used up all our napkins in the house because he kept doing the Ghostbuster carnation." And I was like, yeah, but it was fun things like that we would do, or we would sell a tulip bulb that they could plant, or we would do a little May basket, so there were all sorts of different fun little things like that. And it was funny, as I got to be older, people would come up and say, "Hey, I remember coming to your flower shop." And one time, this is the best story. A girl came in, she had her 10%, because it would always give you 10%. So not only was there always $1, something for $1, but you could get 10% off anything. So if you wanted to buy an arrangement out of the cooler, you would get, 10% off that if you wanted to buy it for your mom or something. So it was a little 10% off, whatever. So, So what was really interesting about it was one time this girl came in and she said, and she was getting married, and she pulled out her discount card from her kid. She said, "I'm part of your kids club," and I gave her the discount because she was brilliant.
Oh, good for you, Jay. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I mean, what are you going to do?
Right.
But it was just like, oh, it's so sweet that you were always that you remember being part of our kids club. And she said, "I would come here all the time. I would come here every month. We'd come in to get the special." And that led to her buying her wedding from me. So, I think that, kids are a huge investment for any business. And I just think if you make a flower shop fun for them, it's a really fun way to, have Halloween. My friend Bobby Ecker created, R.I.P. Bobby Ecker. She was wonderful. But she had created the Kids Club for Flowers, and it was a program that you could purchase from her, and it gave you all these ideas. And I just helped her flesh it out even more and more and more. And we would have a tropical evening where kids could come in and watch us process tropical flowers, because you would put them in like a waiting pool, and then you'd cut them and let them soak in there a little bit. And it was just a fun thing for kids to do and be very involved with the greenhouse. And my grandpa gave tours of the greenhouse to schools and stuff like that. So it was just, it was also one of those things. So yeah,
that's so cool, Jay.
When it comes to flowers lasting as long as possible, I always choose Kreisel Flower Food. Flowers benefit from food and keeping the water clean. In my experience, Kreisel Flower Food does the best job. It's formulated by scientists. My favorite product is Kreisel Professional 3. Kreisel Flower Food products are available at their website, kreiselflowerfood.com. That's CHRYSAL flowerfood.com. And be sure to use our discount code, UBloom10, for 10% off your purchase. Support the joy of flowers. The Life in Bloom Foundation is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to flower education and inspiring a love of flowers in everyone. The foundation helps fund the production of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom on public television, making it possible for viewers across the country to enjoy the beauty and benefits of flowers. The foundation also provides free flower education to high schools, colleges, and floriculture programs through ubloom.com, helping students and future florists bloom in their own careers. Your donation in any amount makes a difference. Plus, all contributions are 100% tax deductible. If you'd like to help us continue sharing the power of flowers, visit the lifeinbloomfoundation.org to donate today. Thank you for your support. So we talked about the spinning the faux webs.
Oh, yeah.
One of my favorite tricks, this is also in Bloom 365. So in the Bloom 365 book, you take a hot glue pan. And so a hot glue pan has that melted glue in it. You can also do it with a glue gun, so it doesn't matter. Glue gun too. Let's talk about glue guns because everybody has a glue gun. Nobody has a glue pen. You take 2 pieces of styrofoam, just the regular white styrofoam, and you put the glue on one side of it, and then you take the other one and you press them together. As it cools and you're pulling it apart, it makes webs. And so you can wrap it around an arrangement, or you can wrap it around a coffee mug, and it comes off really easy.
Oh,
so
cool.
You could decorate things with it if you wanted to, because it's just going to kind of peel away. But it's a fun way to make faux spider webs, so spinning those spider webs. And we've done that on shows. We have one that's an At Home with Flowers on uBloom, where we just created these cute little bouquets that are orange and purple, and then we put a spider-looking ribbon through it, and then we did the webs over the top of it.
Oh, cool.
And I think that's just such a great, it's just such a great time to be activated. I know that in our, flower crowns are a big thing for me.
Yeah.
But I love flower crowns for pumpkins.
Oh, cool.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's a good thing too, is to put flower crowns on your pumpkins if that's what you wanted to do. And then you could just paint the face on it and you wouldn't have to hollow it out.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, because I do hate digging them out. I'm with you on that,
Yeah.
RJ. I just don't want to
I
dig
don't know
it
what
out
it is,
ever.
but something about your hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a pumpkin with a stem on it,
Mhm.
you can take and put a block of foam, of soaked flower foam, right on that stem, and then make your arrangement there so you don't have to hollow it out.
Cool.
And then your pumpkin lasts longer. It isn't going to rot as fast, and you can have that. And we do that in the autumn special as well. We do it with a green pumpkin and make an all green arrangement. But certainly you could do it with an orange pumpkin or those white pumpkins. Oh, I love those. I love the white pumpkins. I think
Oh,
the white
yeah.
pumpkins are great. And the warty ones. Oh my God.
Oh.
The new warty ones are, I'm sure they're not new because they're heirloom, but they're new to me. But there's a lady down the street who has these 2 that are just covered with green warts, and I think that they're just adorable.
Oh, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
It's just a really, really fun thing. So yeah.
I love Halloween just allows people to be creative. It even if you don't really think about it, you tap into this creative side, whether you're decorating a costume, arranging flowers, carving a pumpkin, you get to tap into this part of your brain that you're not normally activating, or the average person isn't activating. And so it's so cool to think about all the different floral stuff you can do too now, Jay, because it's growing up, I was always focused on costumes or doing all these other things. And now it's there's so many other things I want to try. So
I think, the other thing I love is the way that the color range has changed. That it used to be orange and black. And those were the colors for Halloween.
Mhm.
But now it's orange and chartreuse green and purple. Suntory Flowers makes the Florigine carnations. And I think those Florigine carnations are perfect for Halloween because they're such a vibrant purple. But then there's also ones that are almost black.
Oh, yeah.
That coloration. And I think when you add that chartreuse green to that orange and purple coloration, it activates the whole thing so much. And it just makes it even more charming. I think it would be fun. I'm trying to think about this because I'm just thinking that I don't know if it would be well received, but I think it would be cool to give away flowers as the trick or treat.
Yeah.
Right? I
definitely.
mean, I think I wonder if some kids would be like, teenage kids would be like, what is this for?
Oh. They do that with everything.
I was looking for the Snickers bar.
Yeah.
But I think that could be fun too. I'm the flower guy. I guess that would be a good thing, right?
Yeah.
That would be a good thing.
I think people
to
would
give
love
away
it, Jay.
carnations. Yeah. I might have to try that this Halloween. I'll see. I'll see
Cool.
what happens. So it's funny because sometimes we're not home.
Oh.
And we're traveling because there might be something. And so then our pet sitters who always move into our house and stay with it also hand out trick-or-treats to everybody. And they keep a track and they'll say, this is what we saw, and write it all down for me. They're so sweet. Yeah,
That's
they're
so
like,
nice.
There was a Hulk, and there was a Superman, and there was 2 ballerinas, and I'm like, oh, I love it. So it's good. Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting close on time, Jay. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about before we wrap it up?
We also did in our Halloween special where we used dried flowers, and I dried dahlias.
Oh.
What happened was I just left the dahlias in the vase, and all the water ran out, and then they all dried up. And I was like, these are too creepy to throw away.
Oh.
And so I made them into an arrangement and did the webs around them.
Cool.
And they're just dried dahlias. And so I get that out every year because it's just in storage, and I just pull it out and put it up there again. Because also, if it gets a little dust on it, who cares, right?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the best
it adds
part.
to it.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
But I love Halloween. So thanks. Yeah. Thanks for talking about Halloween and sharing your moments, your spooky
sorry if mine
moments
got a
with
little
me.
too spooky.
Oh no,
went off the rails a little bit.
I don't think. No, it's good. I can see the lawnmower and the lettuce in my mind.
Yes.
And it's even more fantastic.
And so Jay, you have all these videos on ubloom.com too. Do we want to just talk about? We mentioned a few of them, but if everybody goes to ubloom.com, you have a bunch of videos there that are all Halloween related.
We do. And it's really simple. So when you're in the watch feature, there's a search box, and put in Halloween, or put in pumpkins, or put in spiders, or put in witches, and it will all come up, and you'll be able to see all the different ones that you can watch. We also have the Halloween special that is, and we called it Life in Gloom.
I love
as
that.
opposed to Life in Bloom. And that is in season 7, and that's available on the website, or it's also available on pbs.org, greattv.com, or also on PBS Passport. And you can watch it at ubloom.com. So you can watch it at all those places. So yeah.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Cool. Well, happy Halloween,
thanks.
everyone. Happy Halloween, Jay.
Happy Halloween. All right. Take care. Thanks for joining us this week on Behind the Bloom podcast with Jay Schwanke and RJ Pole. If you loved what you heard, be sure to follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. And share it with a friend to help us spread the joy, one bloom at a time. Thank you for taking the time to slow down with us. And hopefully you left feeling a little lighter and inspired to try something new. Make sure to join us next week for a brand new episode. Thanks for being here with us, Behind the Bloom. Hey, just one more thing. If you love flowers, you've got to check out ubloom.com. It's the online home of Jay Schwanke's Life in Bloom, where you can stream every episode for free. Plus, you'll find Behind the Bloom videos, my blog, show recipes, and so much more. There's also a massive video archive, over 1,800 how-to videos, flower farm documentaries, and even my very first series, JTV. All Life in Bloom episodes, exclusive web content, and farm documentaries are totally free. Just sign up with your email. And if you're ready to dive deeper, there's a paid subscription option that unlocks the full library of how-to videos. Everything from creating bridal bouquets to centerpieces, corsages, and more. Tons of content to explore. You're gonna love it.